This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Manchester woman and children homeless after house set on fire. A Manchester woman and her 3 children have been left homeless after their house was set on fire in the New Green community during a domestic dispute. An adjoining grocery shop was also destroyed. It is reported that, following the dispute between the woman and her common-law husband, he left the house and later returned with gasoline, which he poured onto the building before it was set on fire. Residents then alerted the fire department. Acting Deputy Superintendent at the Mandeville Fire Station, Emric Needham, said by the time the unit got to the location, the 2-apartment structure made of board and zinc was already destroyed. He said the loss is approximately $400,000. The matter is being treated as a case of suspected arson. The common-law husband is on the run. The children are said to be 3 years, 5 years, and 5 months old. Prime Minister hints at legislation to ban corporal punishment. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has indicated that the government will be introducing legislation to better protect children. Speaking in Parliament Tuesday, Holness said it is time to ban corporal punishment in Jamaica. The Prime Minister was reacting to the death of a 4-year-old boy after he was allegedly beaten by his stepfather for eating too slowly. The Prime Minister said the incidents of violence against children had to be addressed. It is full time that we stop hurting our children in the name of discipline, the Prime Minister said. Yesterday, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency released a statement condemning the use of physical violence to discipline children. The CPFSA is urging parents to consider alternative forms of enforcing discipline. The agency says since the start of the year, it has received 1,465 reports of physical abuse of children. Just this month, the agency intervened in the case of a 2-year-old girl who had suffered multiple fractures from suspected physical abuse. The police have laid charges in that case. We cannot, as a nation, continue to treat children with such little regard. The abuse they are experiencing by the hands of caregivers is heart-wrenching, said Rosalie Gage-Gray, Chief Executive Officer of the CPFSA. Gage-Gray also reported a worrying trend of children being harmed during domestic altercations, primarily among parents in the home. Jamaican held in U.S. immigration detention 2.5 months after being granted deportation protection. Attorneys in the U.S. are criticizing immigration officials for holding a Jamaican man at a federal detention center in Kern County, California, for 2.5 months after he was granted deportation protection. According to U.S. media reports, 40-year-old Giovanni Morrison was convicted of assault with a firearm in 2020 and spent more than a year at Nevada County Jail. By granting him deferral of removal, the judge determined Morrison should be deported due to his criminal record, but couldn't return to Jamaica because he could face torture there. Persons granted deferral of removal are often released and can lawfully live in the U.S. and qualify for a work permit. However, it's reported that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement continued detaining Morrison at a detention facility. The Jamaican was released on Friday and placed on an order of supervision. According to Morrison's attorney, Lisa Knox, the decision to continue detaining him was cruel and unnecessary. Zozos extended by 60 more days. The House of Representatives last night voted to extend the existing 5 zones of special operations for a further 60 days. The zones, which are in Denham Town, West Kingston, Mount Salem and Norwood St. James, and Greenwich Town and August Town in St. Andrew, were created as a means of addressing serious crime factors as well as social decadence in the communities. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang welcomed the decision to extend the Zozos, noting the willingness of the House of Representatives to agree to extend their activities, which he said was evidence of the fact that they are working effectively in creating significant infrastructural, social, and critical security improvements to the lives of the residents of the communities. Health Minister reporting increase in COVID infection rate. The Ministry of Health says there has been a noticeable increase in the rate of COVID-19 infection over the last 2 weeks. National epidemiologist Dr. Corinne Webster-Kerr told the sitting of the Joint Select Committee on the COVID-19 pandemic and related matters that COVID-19 trends are heading in the wrong direction. There has been a noted increase in cases week on week. The number of deaths are also increasing, so this trend is not looking good at this time. When we look at the hospital admissions, this has in essence leveled off or plateaued. When we look at the pressure on the system, we are at a medium level currently, she revealed. Dr. Webster-Kerr is also concerned about the COVID-19 reproduction rate, noting that the reproductive number of both confirmed and admission are at 1.1, which means that cases are increasing and the admissions are increasing. Last week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness reported a slight uptick in positivity rates and hospitalizations since COVID-19 prevention measures were relaxed. The Prime Minister warned partygoers floating COVID-19 rules that tighter containment measures could be reimposed. On June 24 and July 1, measures were eased to allow for more movement and gathering in public spaces. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton told Tuesday's sitting of the committee that it is inevitable the highly contagious Delta variant of COVID-19 will reach Jamaica. Dr. Tufton said, "The risk is high as the country's borders remain open. With other geographic spaces that have the Delta variant as a dominant feature of those populations, I certainly believe that it is just a matter of time before we detect that variant is here," he warned. He disclosed that another batch of samples will be sent for testing for the Delta variant. November trial date set for policeman and co-accused charged with teacher's murder. A police constable and his co-accused, who are charged with murder and conspiracy in the death of 30-year-old teacher Karen Powell 6 years ago, are to go on trial on November 21, 2022. The matter will be heard in the St. Elizabeth Circuit Court. Patricia Sinclair and Sheldon James are accused of poisoning Miss Powell. It was reported that Miss Powell was at the home of a male companion on the morning of November 17, 2014, when persons broke in and threw a corrosive substance on them. Miss Powell was allegedly forced to ingest the substance. She died later in hospital. Mrs. Sinclair, the estranged wife of Miss Powell's boyfriend, was taken into custody along with Constable James in the probing police killing of 3 men in Riverton. The Independent Commission of Investigations is probing the Tuesday afternoon police killing of 3 men in Riverton City, St. Andrew. The men, believed to be wanted, were shot dead after they reportedly challenged a police team on patrol in the lower St. Andrew community. 2 illegal firearms, a rifle and a pistol, were seized at the scene, according to Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, commanding officer for the St. Andrew South Police Division. The identities of the 3 men were not released. Up to late Tuesday evening, investigators were still trying to piece together details of the incident, Ricketts told the news. However, according to police sources, the firefight unfolded after gunmen challenged cops from the newly formed Quick Response Team who were patrolling the community on motorcycles. The 3 men that were killed were wanted by the police, one source disclosed. Man accused of sexually assaulting children in St. Mary to return to court in September. Sheridan Shepherd, the man who is accused of sexually assaulting a number of children in St. Mary, is to return to court on September 19. Mr. Shepherd was remanded when he appeared in the St. Mary Parish Court on Monday. He was charged with 3 more counts of buggery and 1 count of indecent assault last month. He now faces 10 counts of buggery and several counts of indecent assault and grievous sexual assault. Investigators are probing other allegations against him. Jamaica recorded 122 new COVID cases and 5 more deaths. Jamaica recorded 122 new cases of COVID-19 and 5 more deaths related to the respiratory illness on Tuesday. It brings the total number of confirmed cases in Jamaica to 51,404 and the death toll to 1,163. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the 5 deaths include 3 women from St. James ages 74, 75 and 84, a 49-year-old man from Kingston and a 71-year-old woman from St. Catherine also died. The minister said one of the cases was previously under investigation. Of the 122 new cases, there were 65 females and 57 males, with ages ranging from 36 days to 93 years. The cases were recorded as follows: Kingston and St. Andrew 33, St. Catherine 22, Westmoreland 18, St. Anne 11, St. Elizabeth 10, Manchester 9, St. James 7, Clarendon 6, Hanover 3, St. Mary 2 and St. Thomas 1. The country also recorded 27 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 46,751. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.